Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Star and Flurry. We are doing a elemental reading or zodiac readings based on your elemental sign for 30 days. 30 days says September, April, June, and November. For 30 days in March. We're on day 21, believe it or not. Winding our way towards the end. I've kind of enjoyed the routine, so I may keep it up. Um, And what else did I want to say? So it's so funny because I got a comment the other day that talked about how she often gets an oracle deck. Well, she'll continue to get the same oracle cards in her reading, like the oracle is stuck on those particular um, messages. And I was like, God, I know what you mean. In my head, I'm thinking, I know exactly what you mean. That's what I felt like with the Dream Sun Oracle. In fact, I actually pulled some of the cards out, the repeaters out, because I was getting tired of reading, because I am reading the responses, and I'm sure it gets kind of boring for you guys out there to hear the same thing over and over again. And then I decided to pull the repeaters out. I think I just said that, but then I felt bad, like I was robbing the oracle of their voice, and so I put them back in, and once again hit repeat. So I finally went, well, wait a minute. I am frequently asked to reword something. Like, can you rephrase that? I don't get what you're saying. Can you explain that again? And you find yourself using different words to describe what your message is. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask that of the oracle. So I went through and again, and pulled out, oh, God, almost half of the cards, because they're the ones we tend to see the whole time. And I'm going to ask the oracle, the Dream Song oracle, to speak to me in a different way, and hopefully we can find. Maybe those cards were just easy to express through, and he or she is gonna have to find another way. So that's what we're doing. And today we're also using the Unveiled Tarot. This deck is somewhat new to me. And wow, I was using it this morning and I was really liking it. And at first, I thought for those, let me grab the box so I can show it to you. Sorry, I didn't do that sooner. It's called the Unveiled Tarot by Jesse Lonergan. Jesse Lonergan, and it is by the publisher is Sterling Ethos. The design is Liminal 11. Um, and for a while there, and it comes in one of these upside down boxes, which I don't really like, but the magnet is really good, so I can't complain too hard. Nice hard box. And also a very nice hardback little guidebook. Not a whole lot of information, but enough to get you through if you need it. How many pages is it? Isn't it cool? Doesn't really have page numbers, I guess. Yeah, so anyways, there's that. So that's the deck we're using today. Anyways, I think what I was saying is that the cards that first appeared to me have, here, I'll just show one, to have kind of they're not all black and white. Let me throw a couple out there just so you can see. There's three cards, kind of. So they're not all black in color or anything like that. But at first glance, I was thinking it's kind of like there's the traditional meaning on the inside and then the reverse meaning on the outside. But it's not really that. As I read the guidebook, he I don't know if it's he or she, Jesse. I'll call it a he. He approaches it from I'll use they. They approach it from more of a adding depths and layers to the original RW's meaning. So, in other words, Ten of Cups. Yes, it can mean kind of happy family, nearing the end, nearing the completion of a path or whatever, or is it a little bit of more of a friendly gathering of misfits, and pulling. I'm pulling this off the top of my head right now. In fact, let's just take a moment and look at the guidebook and see what the guidebook said about. What did I do with it? Oh, says about it because I read a couple of them and they were like really interesting how they talked about kind of the differences. Here's one. So, Ten of Cups. So it says, no matter what the circumstances, you can feel the strength and stability of your family, be it the one you were born with or the one you found yourself in. But this isn't some idealized Hollywood version of the perfect family. Like all families, there are imperfections. But the strength comes from the acceptance of those flaws and the ability to reach out when someone is struggling. And so I think that's what the outside is. So it's kind of it's a almost a fuller sense of fuller meaning of the card. And so I had a fun time reading along. I think Danny Shea and Lori and Cecilia. Is it Cecilia from Celtic Tarot? We're doing a reading this morning, and I followed along or answering questions, and I answered along with them with this deck and came up with some really surprising answers. And so I thought, I'm going to use this deck today. Not that I'm over the Sassy Dragons, because that was really fun yesterday. And if this gets weird and I can't read them, I'll switch over. But anyways, I thought, I'm going to give this deck a try. It shuffles really well. It doesn't look like it should. It's a bit of a chunky deck. Pretty, nothing. I call it mediocre cardstock. It's nothing, no great shakes, but it's not horrible either. So let's get to it. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is for Friday, March 20th, almost the weekend. People, can you believe it? And is anybody else as excited as I am for the finale of Severance? Oh my gosh, that is just the best show ever. I'm not advertising, but it's on Apple Plus, and it's the best money I've spent on television in a long time. It's just such a good show. I don't watch much else on Apple Plus. Never got into the morning show and blah blah blah. Anyways, so let's go. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Where are you guys at? So the Three of Pentacles. Let's right here. I am. Eight of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords. I like that. You look at the background. It's like is it heartbreak or just like a long-term heartbreak or just a short-term heartbreak of a hangover. Three of Pentacles. And you see the people working on building, and yet on the inside it is built and sturdy, ready to go. And here, people focusing on the work, and it's almost as if. Oh, when you look here, this looks like a tank back here, and this looks like a car. So the hard work, really putting your strength into something, can produce great, or can also produce wartime vehicles. So, so is your hard work worth it in the end? So anyway, so to put these three together, Three of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords, I would say almost in this case, your hard work from you've rebuilt something, you've put in a lot of freaking work on it, but you may have created a bit of a monster, and you're aware of it. So I would. It doesn't mean it's over. It just means I think sometimes you have to step back and maybe rework the conditions a little bit. This tells me it's temporary, and that it may be a little bit more in your head than what is real. But in that case, I would go back absolutely to the drawing board and or not necessarily all the way back to the drawing board, but go back to the people who were on that drawing board with you to rework some of what you've put together to see if you can work out these kinks that right now are leading to something you're not particularly happy with. Thing that's giving you a headache. And Oracle, with your new minimal selection of message vehicles, what would you like to say? So little makes it hurt to shuffle. Okay. Court the Feminine. That's really pretty. I love the crow up top. It's like she's almost in front of a path, a path that she's unsure of. Little fox in here. A little bit of slyness going on. Let's see what the Dream Song Oracle has to say about this. Court the feminine. The word cunning is closely associated with the fox. Cunning, like foxes and women, has been given a bad rap. Thank you. I was going to say you better say something like that. I was like, or I wasn't going to like it very much. Many have twisted the word's sacred origins into something manipulative and conniving. Conniving. Yeah, I can read conniving. But the word cunning arrives from an older Middle English word ken, a range of knowledge or sight. A cunning person understands that deep internal sight and wide range vision lead to building an authentic life. Well, look at this. Okay, yeah. This is the way your soul sight grows sharp and your instincts return to the untamed power you were born with. Sharpen your cunning to cut away what no longer serves. No matter your gender, your life deserves the fierce protection that feminine discernment can bring. So I think maybe what this is saying is, sometimes it's okay just to go back to the drawing board and start over. Regardless of all the work you've already put in, you're going to need you're going to need to mold it a little bit more, manipulate it a little bit more. Put your cunning wiles to work and put together a system that's going to work for you. So that was cool. I like that. Okay. Water signs. You're next. Oops. I left a card on the table. Don't leave your cards on the table. So, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Hello. What's on tap with you all today? We woke up to snow again this morning. Hello. We are just having a tough time working out of this little cold snap we're having. It stuck for a little bit, but not much. So that's good. Okay, water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What's on tap for Friday? The lead into your weekend. Two of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. And the Lovers. That's cool. I love the juggler here. Thank you for having a Two of Pentacles without a blindfold. On the other hand, he's juggling what appears to be a grenade. So isn't that interesting? Sorry, that's really good. Part of the reason I love this deck, it just kind of gives you some little surprises. And here is a man hoarding everything, and in this case, hoarding or sitting atop his pentacles, not willing to move forward at this point. And then we have the Lovers card, where it depicts in the background two lovers, but in the internal, it's two people who are just disconnected in every way. Her and her headphones, and his head with earbuds, and his face in his iPhone. So I think what this is saying is be careful what is in front of you and the decisions you're making. You know they can go either way. I would say hold fast to what you know for sure, because there may be quite a bit of information out there that you are unaware of, and that can lead to a bomb. No, I don't mean literally, of course, but kind of things blowing up in your face. So I would say this is encourage you to hang on steadfastly to what you know. Keep to the facts. And this card, I think, says open up your ears, open up your eyes, turn around and look around. Look at, and especially focus on people who have been your supporters. Find out where that energy, not where that energy is coming from. You know, you're glad it's coming, but find out what they know, because they may have information that you have simply been ignoring, that is about to create this. And you may need to open this up a little bit. Open up your thought. I mean, look at this person. They're just scrunched in to themselves, almost not willing to hear anything. And again, in this as well. Same thing, just ignoring everything. And I think that's gonna, or that is suggesting it's gonna lead to something kind of blowing up in your face. So what does that say? It means, what is that saying to you? Be careful. Might be time to open up your resources a little bit. Find out, listen a little more widely. Cast a wider net. Maybe is what this is saying, and open up your eyes and ears and look at what's in front of you, rather or look beyond what's immediately in front of you, and that may offer more knowledge and more direction for you. Okay, so I'm kind of loving this deck. I love that it kind of gives you a couple of different perspectives here. Okay, Oracle, what say you? Dream Song Oracle. Abandon worry. Well, yay. I love this, that she's got this protective umbrella and flying out of the umbrella. Now, this is more fan shaped, so there must be crows. Ravens have more of a wedge-shaped tail. So crows, the harbinger of usually omen of some kind. It doesn't mean it's good or bad necessarily. Just that something is afoot. And that's what it looks like to me. So abandon worry. Worry doesn't empty tomorrow of its storms. It robs today of its sunshine. Oh, that's good. This moment asks you to trust instead of worry. It's not as bad as you think. Your worry is attempting to shelter you from an oncoming storm, but it's working overtime to convince you of a darkness that may never come. That's interesting. It's kind of giving this new meaning, isn't it? Your concern and self-protection are healthy. You need them. Worry, however, is not your friend. It robs you of peace of mind and can keep you from trying new things that could potentially be a wonderful fit for you. Abandon all things that do not fit you. Genes, relationships, beliefs, worry. Worry has always been too confining. Break through that dark ceiling and your possibilities will soar free. And I think that's what this is kind of saying. Let go, let loose. Open up a bit. This is killing you right now. The worry, the contraction of your whole soul. You need to open it up a little bit because you're headed to danger. So that's cool. That's cool reading. Very good. Step lightly, water signs. Step lightly and look where you're going. Open up those eyes and ears. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. How you doing today? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's on tap for you tomorrow, Friday, March 21st? Temperance, King of Wands, King of Pentacles. So I saw this King of Wands earlier today in a reading, and it was basically, I looked at it and I immediately thought, it's showing you the door. You know, everybody's cheering you, and yet you're kind of like, you need to go. So I think, what am I seeing here? And then in the King of Pentacles, it's like here you are being cheered on by a large group, and then here you're being, it almost looks as if you're being put to task about what the heck you're trying to sell. So I think, to me, what it looks like is whatever's on tap here, the primary advice to you is to keep it balanced. It almost looks as, this guy almost looks like he's an orator, and an orator can, all you need to, well, I'm not going to go there. When you get on stage and you start talking, and really submitting to your passions and your wants and your fire, it can come across very strong and very controlling. And I think what this is suggesting to you is that may not be the best approach in whatever this is. That this is really, it's almost like I want to move these cards to this. That the best advice is to, you want these people to be listening to you and cheering you and not over analyzing and being picky about what you're doing. And this to me, it looks like you're kind of over commanding, and that is never a good thing. Well, I guess it depends on what situation you're in. You know, at war, you need a good commander, but this doesn't look like that. This looks like somebody who's trying to lead and may not be particularly adept at reading the room. So I think approaching this in a more balanced way, mixing and mingling your skills and your talents and your arguments to convince your audience here that this is the way to go is going to be the way to go. So that would be my advice to you. That's kind of a complicated thing, but more simplistic. It's, I think, put your ego away and speak normal. Bear the truth. Bear the truth. There you go. Maybe that's it in a nutshell. Bear the truth. In one creation story, Eve ate fruit from the tree of knowledge. Knowledge and its cousin, experience, is where you gather your wisdom and learn your truth. Your truth is your superpower when used consciously, diligently. If you're willing to be transparent with it, your truth can lift you from mind prison and deliver you into your own Garden of Eden. Speak your truth, even if the words cut as they escape your throat. They have the power to kill what needs to die, to shape what needs to change, and to separate that which is healthy from that which has become detrimental. Now is the time to bear your truth. Trust that it will attract what aligns with you, repelling what no longer belongs. And there you go. The oracle said it better than I. Kind of fun to see new oracle cards, isn't it? And the oracle, I think, is finding absolutely a different way to speak to us, and I'm enjoying it because frankly he was getting a little boring. Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I didn't mean to call you boring. It's just I'm glad you're choosing different messages to convey thoughts. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, welcome. We're off and running. Knight of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups just kills me because look at this. It's like, party! And then in the background is the remnants of the party, and it's a mess. And she's like, I don't know if I want to really be here for this. King of Cups looks very stormy, smooth sailing on possible stormy seas, and the Knight of Pentacles, ever patient. Oh, look at that. He's on a horse, but in the background it's a merry-go-round. So I think maybe what this is saying is whatever you're doing, beware of the consequences. Smooth sailing is you absolutely can find those calm seas in which to move forward in whatever it is you're trying to do, but don't get so patient and so locked into your thoughts that you end up just going in circles. That patience is good, but sometimes you actually need to get off the merry-go-round and head towards your destination. And if and when you do that, I think you'll encounter smooth sailing. And don't deny or ignore the work that other people put in, and know that they may that they're going to not only be around with you during the celebration, but be around to help with the cleanup should any be needed. So so I think the most important part of this, in my opinion, of this message is to that while patience can be seen as a virtue, it can also get wearisome and unactive, and so sometimes you have to jump off the merry-go-round, jump off the patience wheel, and get busy to whatever it is you're headed towards. In other words, You've done talked enough. Let's move on. Let's make something happen here. And this is turn your back. Ooh, turn your back. I love the canoe. Turn your back. I just can't tell you what even that means. Which is why there's a guidebook. It's time to turn your back on what is not for you. No is a necessary magic. Use it often to free the bound, liberate the oppressed, and honor the sacred within yourself. Cling to only what feels essential for you right now. Yeah, and so, just a lot of this doesn't seem essential. It's time to again get off that merry-go-round. Don't be swayed by achievement or approval. Think of your essence like the moon. Its light deserves fierce protection. Once you have admitted the truth inside of you, it's time to embody it by speaking it and allow it to be protected by the ferocity of self kindness. Learning to hold what is essential for you while protecting your precious resources makes all the interactions more authentic, even if some of them die off in the process. The secret irony hiding inside your willingness to say no is that it allows your yes to shine more brightly. And isn't that a great message? It's so true. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by, as always, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.